Okay, so I started thinking about how most other people would reproduce a seal or a sprig onto a pot or a mug or something. My wife Ruth is a classically trained illustrator, and she can carve in bas relief and do sculptures, so I've got that going for us. And we carve those, or she carves those, onto plaster bats that I pour. You transfer the image onto it, either draw it or whatnot, and then she carves it on there. She carves it right reading, and when I press it in porcelain or cone 6 porcelain and then take that and biscuit fire that cone 6 porcelain, that's a reverse. Well, then you press your clay that you're going to be using to put onto the mugs and whatnot onto that, left and right and left and right and left and right. That's the way we do it if something is very complicated. What do you do if you don't have the skill levels, or if you don't have that classical sculptural training to sit there and spend hours on a carving on a plaster bat? Well, I'll show you how you can skip that step completely in just a minute. How do you not use the plaster if you're going to do sprigs and seals on your mugs and coffee cups? Well, Plexiglas or Lexan or acrylic. Now I know you guys are saying right now, oh, diode lasers, blue diode lasers, they don't cut acrylic. Yes, they do. They just don't cut translucent or clear acrylic. This black, opaque, completely thick stuff, all the way through and through, they cut just fine, just like wood. And if you'll look, there's the mushrooms. This is the snowflake we just did. There's the pentagram, the tree of life, Yggdrasil, and Valkyrie, lots of Viking stuff, in the triscale. And you can see there's clay on this. Well, I'll basically just take the porcelain, or cone 6 porcelain, and I'll press it into this, and voila, there it is. You don't have to use the plaster. It likes to stick to it. It does. And so, how do you get around that? I spray it with WD-40 or an oil and brush the oil into it really well. Then press the clay into it and release. Sometimes you have to do it twice if it's very, very detailed or it's very, very deep. Don't have it be very, very deep. It'll come off just fine. And when it does come off just fine, then you can just simply take that thing that you pressed and biscuit fire it. Once it's biscuit fired, you've got a sprig mold that'll last practically forever. Yeah, and so that's what I do. I'm going to show you how I do that right now because I need to do some for a new Viking show that we're doing. So let's go dig some up. Alright, here's our light burn at our laser station. Basically the same exact situation, but this time we're going to go up under here where it says fill, and I'm going to change that because this is a 40-watt laser. Now you can take this and split it in half if you've got a 20-watt laser or subsequently. So this 40 is actually going to be more like a 150 speed, and this max power is going to be more like a 75. That's real close to how I etch my plywood. But this, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a 350 dots per inch. And we're going to go from the bottom to the top. Last time I did the horse, I had it going, I had the scan angle at 90. It's because I left it from an old file, so phooey on me. Okay, so this looks good, and we're going to say, okay. Now we've got these guys. I don't want them to be side by side. I want to try to save as much of the Plex as possible because it's not real cheap. And we'll get close like that. Put them together. It's going to give me, oh, this whole thing's about 8.5 inches, so that's good. That's what I'm going to go for. going to go ahead and set us up here. I'm going to leave the paper on the back of this. It's not going to etch all the way through it. I'm going to set it up about here. And I'm going to get it somewhere around in there because I'm going to save me a lot of spots, but we obviously want to get our height. So one thing nice about the S1 is that you can hit the detect button on light burn and it will detect the height. You will not have to do a manual measurement. Not that I'm promoting Xtool, but I'm promoting Xtool. Okay, there's that. You do have to wait for the setting. All right, so right about there, I want enough so that when I press clay, I don't have an issue. And that'll probably do me right there. Go ahead and hit the framing button. That'll show me exactly where I'm going to be. And that's pretty big, but that's okay because it's almost 2 times 4. They're pretty large. And, you know, honestly, if I was going to be a smart person, I'd probably give myself a little bit more space. Let's be a smart person and give ourselves a little bit more space. Okay, now we're really going to take up the room here. Let's frame it again. Yeah, see, all the way down to the bottom almost. Okay. But that's okay. And we're going to go ahead and turn our extraction on. Turn our air assist on. Yes, it can do it automatically, but I like to do it myself. Okay, so what we're going to do is go into Lightburn and we're going to test and see how long this beast is going to take. It's only going to take us 30 minutes, so okie dokie. Says you. Let's try it. Here we go. Start it. Well, you have to shut this thing off over here. Okay, now we start. Okay, so we've got our designs cut into our plexiglass. Now, like I said, clay likes to stick to this, so what I am going to do is simply take a little bit of our friend here and get that in there. I've got a special brush. I'll put this aside for a second. What I like to use is, this is a Cone 6 porcelain. They're very common. Pick your favorite from whatever distributor that you like to get your clay from. What I like to do is, and this is really old, which is why it's kind of marble at this point, but as soon as I get it softened up here, Okay, cross your fingers. I'd say that worked. So what you got to do is you put it on something flat, like that, in order for it to dry. When it dries, we can bisque fire it. That looks pretty darn good. Yep, pretty darn good. Now all of the little flecks of brown and swirls in there, this is porcelain, that'll all be gone. But yeah, I think that's going to work just swimmingly. it will come off. It'll come off. It'll come off. Oh, chair. Groovy chair. The chair we sit at in order to talk to everybody. Where did you come from? Hi, come back here. Well, my cat just jumped down.